Hi friends, good morning. Today we are going to discuss in history, Unit 5, Social and Religious Reform Movements in the 19th Century. Look at this guys, Social and Religious Reform Movements in the 19th Century. Learning objectives. The influence of Western ideas and Christianity in creating a new awakening in the 19th century British India. Contestation in the social and religious sphere. Opposition to practices like sati, slavery, untouchability, and child marriage. Opposition to idolatry, that is, worshipping of image or photos, rituals, and superstitious beliefs. Contribution of Brahmo Samaj, Arya Samaj, Ramakrishna Mission, Theosophical Society, and Aligarh movement to the regeneration of India. Role played by the prominent personalities in bringing about this awakening amongst Parsis and the Sikhs people. The social movement of Jyotiba Phule and reform movements in Kerala and Tamil Nadu. The first thing, the introduction of this chapter. English education, introduced with the object of producing clerks, also produce a new English educated middle class. This class came under the influence of Western ideas and thoughts. Christianity also had its effect on the newly emerging middle class. The educated middle class began to take a lead in political as well as in reform movements. The reform movements of the 19th century in the realm of religion, which fall under two broad categories. One is the reformist movements. Reformist means a person who advocates gradual reform rather than abolition or revolution, like the Brahmo Samaj, the Pratna Samaj, and the Aligarh movement. And the revivalist movements. What is the revivalist? Related to the Christians who promotes or conducts religious revivals. Aligarh movement, it is to establish a modern system of education for the Muslim population of the British India. That is for the Aligarh movement. These, such as the Arya Samaj, Ramakrishna Mission, and the Deoband movement. There were also attempts to challenge the oppressive social structure by Jyotiba Phule in Pune, Narayana Guru and Ayyankali in Kerala, and Ramalinga Adigal and Ayodhidasara of Tamil Nadu. The first thing, early reform movements in Bengal. Raja Ram Mohan Roy and the Brahmo Samaj. He was the pioneer of this early reform movements. Ram Mohan Roy was one of the earlier reformers influenced by the Western ideas to initiate reforms. He was a great scholar, well versed in Sanskrit, Arabic, Persian, and English, apart from his knowledge in the mother tongue, Bengali. Here is Mr. Rajaram Mohan Roy. Ram Mohan Roy was opposed to meaningless religious ceremonies and social customs. Yet he wanted to preserve continuity with the past. He was deeply influenced by the monotheism. Monotheism, it's a single God. Belief that there is only one God. An anti-idolatry. Idolatry means to worship the statue or image. That's the example of an idolatry. Anti-idolatry means he is not having a faith on the any statues or image. So there is only one God. Based on his interpretation of the Upanishads, that is secret teaching from the teachers, he argued that all the ancient texts of the Hindus preached monotheism, that is single God, or worship of one God. Deeply concerned with the prevailing customs of sati, which was very illegal one, child marriage and polygamy. Polygamy, the practice of having more than one wife or husband at the same time. So he published tracts against them and petitioned that government to legislate against them. He advocated the rights of widows to remarry. So he just gave a chance to the people, those who are widows, to get marry again. So he wanted polygamy to end, to put an end. He appealed to reason and humanity and compassion of the people. His campaign played a key role in forcing the Governor General William Bentinck. Have you heard about this? Lord William Bentinck's legislation abolishing sati in 1829. It's an important event. Lord William Bentinck. Ram Mohan Roy condemned the subjugation of women and opposed the prevailing ideas that women were inferior to men. No, everybody is equal in front of law. So he strongly advocated education for women. He gave his full support for the introduction of English language and the Western sciences in schools and colleges. Ram Mohan Roy, he founded the Brahmo Samaj on 20th August 1828. He opened a temple in Calcutta where there was no image. Now next, Maharishi Debendranath Tagore. Look at the picture of the Debendranath Tagore. After the death of Ram Mohan Roy, Maharishi Debendranath Tagore, the poet Rabindranath Tagore's father, carried on the work. He laid down 4 articles of faith. Number 1. In the beginning, there was nothing. The one supreme being alone existed who created the universe. Number 2. He alone is the God of truth. Infinite wisdom, goodness and power, eternal, omnipresent, the one without second. Number 3. Our salvation depends on belief in Him and in His worship in this world and the next. Point number 4. Belief consists in loving Him and doing His will. So these are the 4 important points they have just explained here. Articles of the faith. Keshav Chandra Sen and Brahmo Samaj of India. Debendranath was a moderate reformer, but his younger colleagues in the Sabha were for rapid changes. So the greatest of these, Keshav Chandra Sen, joined the movement in 1857. But in 1866, a split occurred in the ranks of Brahmo Samaj. Keshav left the Samaj and founded a new organization. Debendranath's organization thereafter came to be known as Adi Brahmo Samaj. After Keshav had his 14-year-old daughter married to an Indian prince in a contravention of the Samaj condemnations of child marriage. The opponents of child marriage left the Brahmo Samaj of India and started the Sadharan Samaj. That is, Sadharan means local Samaj. Sadharan, very poor, less quality of the religious Samaj. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, another outstanding reformer in Bengal, was Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. While Ram Mohan Roy and others looked to Western rationalist ideas to reform society, Vidyasagar argued that the Hindu scriptures were progressive, that is, developing gradually. He provided evidence from scriptures that there was no sanction for burning of widows or for the prohibition of the remarriage of widows. What is prohibition? The action of forbidding something, especially by law. So he supported the remarriages of widows. He wrote a number of polemical tracts and was the pioneer of modern Bengali prose. So he played a leading role in promoting education of girls and helped them in setting up a number of schools. So he dedicated his whole life for the betterment of the child widows of the Hindu society. The movement, which was led by the Vidyasagar, resulted in the Widows Remarriage Reform Act of 1856. Important is The movement, which was led by Vidyasagar, resulted in the Widows Remarriage Reform Act of 1856. This act was intended to improve the lot of child widows and save them from the perpetual widowhood. During the child time itself, they are just getting married. So that widowhood has to be saved. For that, they have introduced newly Remarriage Reform Act for the widows in the year 1856. Now, Pratna Samaj. The Maharashtra region was another region where reform activities gained steam. A movement similar to the Brahmo Samaj but founded in Bombay in 1867 was Pratna Samaj. Its founder was Dr. Atmaram Pandurang. The two distinguished members of this Samaj were R.C. Bhandarkar and Justice Mahadev Govind Ranade. They both devoted themselves to activities such as intercaste dining, intercaste marriage, widow remarriage, and improvement of women and depressed classes. What they did? They did intercaste dining. Any caste people, they can sit in and have their food together in the dining. So intercaste marriage, any people, any caste people, they can marry with them. Then widow remarriage. Like that, all these important activities they brought up. Now this was the main founder of the Widow Remarriage Association, the Purna Sarvajanik Sabha and the Deccan Education Society 1884. Dr. Atmaram Pandurang, M.G. Ranade, Mahadev Govinda Ranade. Look at the next one is Hindu Revivalism, Swami Dayananda Saraswati and Arya Samaj, 1875. In the Punjab, the reform movement was spearheaded by the Arya Samaj. It was founded in 1875 by a wandering ascetic in the western Gangetic plain, Swami Dayanand Saraswati. Swami Dayanand later settled in the Punjab to preach his ideas. His book, Satyartha Prakash, enjoyed wide circulation. He declared the practices such as child marriage, the prohibition of widow remarriage, and the alleged polluting effects of foreign travel had no scriptural sanction. What is alleged? Stated but not proved, that is alleged, or undesirable quality, which polluting the effects of foreign travel had no scriptural sanction. The positive principles enunciated by the Dayanand were strict monotheism, that is, believing that there is only one God, condemnation of idolatry, so they are banning to worship the image or statues, and the rejection of Brahmin domination of ritual and social practices. He also rejected superstitious beliefs in Hinduism, and his cry was, "Go back to Vedas." Who said? Swami Dayananda Saraswati. The primary achievements of Arya Samaj were in the field of social reform and spread of education. The Samaj started a number of Dayananda Anglo-Vedic schools and colleges. Now B. The following of this Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, a simple priest of Dakshineshwar near Kolkata, emphasized a spiritual union with God through extreme happiness, that is, ecstatic practices such as singing bhajans. An ardent worshipper of goddess Kali. So the sacred mother, he declared that the manifestations of the divine mother were infinite. So none above that like a Kali. In his view, all religions contain the universal elements which is practiced would lead to the salvation. He said Jiva is Shiva. All living beings are God. Service for man must be regarded as a God. Service to poor is a service to the God-like. Ramakrishna Mission, Belur Math, is Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. His mission, primary achievement was his ability to attract the educated youth who were dissatisfied with the rational orientation of religious reform organizations such as the Brahmo Samaj. After his death in 1886, his disciples organized themselves a religious community and undertook the task of making his life and teaching known in India and abroad. The chief spirit behind this task was Vivekananda. Following the organizational structure of Christian missionaries, Vivekananda established the Ramakrishna Mission, which did not restrict itself to religious activities but was actively involved in social causes such as education, healthcare, and relief in times of calamities. Swami Vivekananda. Narendranath Datta, later known as Swami Vivekananda. He was the prime follower of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, an educated youth. He was drawn to Ramakrishna's message, dissatisfied with conventional philosophical positions. He advocated practical Vedanta of service to humanity and attacked the tendency to defend every institution, simply emphasized a cultural nationalism, and made a call to Indian youth to regenerate Hindu society. His ideas bred a sense of self-confidence among Indians who felt inferior in relation to the materialist achievements of the West. He became famous for his addresses on Hinduism at the 1893 World Congress of Religions at Chicago. Despite his fame, he was condemned by Orthodox Hindus for suggesting that the lower caste should be allowed to engage in Hindu rituals from which they were traditionally excluded. Vivekananda's activities, ideology rekindled the desire for political change among many Western education young Bengalis. Many of the youths who were involved in the militant nationalist struggle. So during the Swadeshi movement, following the partition of Bengal, were inspired by Swami Vivekananda. Next is Theosophical movement. What is Theos and what is Sophos? Theos means it's a God. Sophos means wisdom. God's wisdom, the knowledge of God. Ancient Greek word which means God, Theos. The Theosophical Society was founded by Madame H.P. Blavatsky and Colonel H.S. Olcott, founder in the USA in 1875. It later shifted to India at Adayar, Chennai in 1886. Theosophical Society stimulated a study of the Hindu classics, especially the Upanishads and the Bhagavad Gita. The Theosophical Society also played an important role in the revival of Buddhism in India. Western interest in Hindu scriptures gave educated Hindus great pride in their tradition and culture. The contribution of Annie Besant. In India, the movement became further popular with the election of Annie Besant as its president after the death of Olcott. She played a role in Indian nationalist politics and formed the Home Rule League demanding home rule to India on the lines of Ireland. Annie Besant, she belongs to Ireland. Ireland lady, she helped a lot to the Indian people. Annie Besant spread theosophical ideas through her newspapers called New India and Commonweal. New India is her newspaper, Commonweal is also another newspaper of theosophical ideas. Anti-caste movements. Jyotiba Phule. Jyotiba Govindarao Phule was born in 1827 in Maharashtra. He opened the first school for untouchables in 1852 in Pune. He launched the Satya Shodhak Samaj, that is Truth Seekers Society, in 1870 to stir the non-Brahmin masses to self-respect. Phule opposed the child marriage and supported the widow remarriage. Jyotiba and his wife Savitribai Phule devoted their lives for the uplift of the depressed classes and women. Jyotiba opened orphanages and homes for the widows. His work, Gulamgiri, that is slavery, is an important text that summarized many of his radical ideas. Look at this, Jyotiba Phule and wife Savitribai Phule. Now, point is Narayana Guru. Born to poor parents in Kerala. Narayana Guru evolved into a poet and scholar in Malayalam, Tamil and Sanskrit. Disturbed by the terrible caste tyranny that the lower caste people suffered, he dedicated his whole life for the betterment of the oppressed people. He set up the Sri Narayana Dharma Paripalana Yogam, an organization to work for the uplift of the depressed classes. He established a grand temple at Aruvipuram and dedicated it to all. Thinkers and writers such as Kumaran, Asan, and Dr. Palpu were influenced by his ideas and carried forward the movement. Sri Narayana Guru. Ayyankali. Ayyankali was born in 1863 at Venganur in Thiruvananthapuram, that is Trivandrum, now in Kerala, then in the princely state of Travancore. The discrimination he faced as a child turned him into a leader of an anti-caste movement and who later fought for the basic rights, including access to public spaces and entry to schools. Ayyankali. Inspired by Sri Narayana Guru, Ayyankali, who founded the Sadhu Jana Paripalana Sangam, that is Association for the Protection of the Poor, in 1907. Now we are going to discuss about the Islamic reforms. After the suppression of Great Revolt of 1857, Indian Muslims looked to Western culture with a suspicion. The community feared that Western education, Western culture and Western ideas would endanger their religion. So therefore only a small section of Muslims accepted the new avenues for modern education. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. Born in Delhi into a noble Muslim family, Syed Ahmad Khan thought that lack of education, especially modern education, had harmed the Muslims greatly and kept them backward. So he exhorted the Muslims to accept the Western science and take up the government services. He founded a scientific society and translated many English books, especially science books, into Urdu. He believed that the interests of the Muslims would be best served if they bonded with the British government rather than pitch and with the rising nationalist movement. So he advised the Muslims to take to English education and to concentrate on it. Aligarh movement. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan's movement, the Aligarh movement. It's also called because it was centered around the Aligarh Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College founded by him in 1875, which is a landmark in the history of Indian Muslim education. The college was raised to the status of a university in 1920. Deoband movement. Deoband was a revivalist movement which was organized by the Orthodox Muslim ulema. The ulema under the leadership of Muhammad Qasim Vanatawi and Rashid Ahmad Gangotri founded the school at Deoband in the Sharanpur district of the UP, that is Uttar Pradesh, in 1866. The school curriculum shut out English education and Western culture. Maulana Muhammadul Hassan became the new Deoband leader. The Jamaatul Ulema Council of Theologians, led by him, gave a concrete shape to the Hassan's ideas of protection of the religious and political rights of the Muslims in the overall context of Indian unity. Farsi reform movement in the middle of the 19th century. The reform activities began in Mumbai. Sikh reforms movements, Nirankaris and Namdharis. Among the Sikhs of Punjab, there was attempts to reform. Baba Dayal Das, who was a founder of the Nirankari movement, stretched the worship of God as a Nirankar, formless. Rejection of idols, rejection of rituals associated with the idolatry, reverence for the authority of Guru Nanak and of the Adi Granth formed the essence of his teachings. The Namdhari movement, founded by the Baba Ram Singh, was another socio-religious movement among the Sikhs. The Namdhari insisted on wearing the symbols of Sikhism, except that kirpan, that is sword. Instead, Baba Ram Singh wanted his followers to carry a lati, a stick, considered both men and women equal and accepted widow remarriage. It prohibited the dowry system and child marriage too. Social reformers. Look at the reformers of Tamil Nadu. Before that, one point of view for the Singh Sabha was a forerunner of the Akali movement. Who was the forerunner of the Akali movement? Singh Sabha. was a forerunner of Akali movement. Social reformers of Tamil Nadu. Ramalinga Swamigal, popularly known as Vallalar, Ramalinga Adigalar. He was born in Marudur, a village near Chidambaram. After his father's death, his family moved to his brother's house at Chennai. Ramalinga emphasized the bonds of responsibility and compassion between living beings. He expressed the view that those who lack compassion for suffering beings are hard-hearted, their wisdom clouded. He showed his compassion and mercy on all living beings, including plants. So this purpose he called as a Jiva Karunya. He established the Samarasa Veda Sanmarga Sangam in 1865 and it was renamed as Samarasa Suddha Sanmarga Satya Sangha, which means Society for Pure Truth in Universal Selfhood. Ramalinga also established a free feeding house for everyone, irrespective of caste, at Vadalur in the wake of terrible famine in South India in the year 1866. His voluminous songs were compiled and published under the title Thiruvarutpa, the Songs of Grace. Look at Ramalinga Adigalar, Vadalur Satyajnana Sabha. Ayodhidasa. Panditer Ayodhidasa was a radical Tamil scholar, writer, Siddha medicine practitioner, journalist and socio-political activist. Born in Chennai. He was fluent in Tamil, English, Sanskrit and Pali languages. So he campaigned for social justice and worked for the emancipation of the untouchables. Pandita Ayodhidasar founded the Advaitananda Sabha to raise the voice for the temple entry of the untouchables. In 1882, John Ratnam and Ayodhidasar established a movement called Dravida Kazhagam and launched a magazine called Dravida Pandiyan in 1885. He founded the Dravida Mahajana Sabha in 1891 and organized the first conference of the association at Nilgiris. Pandita Ayodhidasar was disappointed with the Hindu Dharma, which served as the basis for propagating and validating the caste in the Hindu society. So he started a weekly journal, Oru Paisa Tamilan, in 1907 and published it until his demise in 1914. He is Mr. Ayodhidasar. So this is a part of the social and religious reform movements in the 19th century. So please go through carefully and then try to point out your answers. Thank you, friends.